Sophie Cunningham has officially joined forces with Caitlin Clark in the Indiana Fever, and let's just say that it's the team-up that fans have been waiting for. Unlike the person the Fever traded away to acquire her, Sophie isn't holding back when it comes to protecting Clark from all the bullies. That's right, Melissa Smith's toxic attitude finally caught up with her. She's been shipped out and packed up just like last season's poor decisions, from locker room drama to outright disrespect, Smith and her favorite sidekick, and pettiness. Guess what? They've both been moved to Dallas. Let's take a closer look at why everyone hates Caitlin Clark. Do you also hate her? Come on, dude, absolutely not. I think she's a gem. I didn't know her, but over the weekend we kind of talked back and forth a little bit. She's lovely, and I think a lot of people always have a lot to say with people they don't even know or shoes they've never been in. I think she's handling the pressure very well, and I'm a fan who would love to play with her someday. Sophie's work ethic and understanding that when you have a generational talent like Clark, you should support her rather than undermine her are now a reality, and fans couldn't be happier. However, the Indiana Fever didn't just add the right player, they also got rid of the wrong one. Yes, Melissa Smith, the player who couldn't even pretend to have Caitlin's back on the court, is no longer with the team. Smith brought nothing but negative vibes, tension in the locker room, and a me-first mentality that brought the team down like an anchor tied to a sinking ship. What is it? I mean, it feels like it's not hate, but is it jealousy? I'm not an extremist in the slightest, so I like to see both sides of every party. I believe that when you have older players in the league, you know they put in a lot of work and don't receive the recognition they deserve because they don't get paid millions of dollars before they even take the court. For them, it's all about what they're doing for the game, like while they're playing. And Sophie Cunningham isn't just a fantastic player. She's the kind of teammate you want. She's passionate and team-oriented, and most importantly, she respects Caitlin Clark. She understands that Clark isn't just another player, she's the WNBA's future, and as such, smart players adjust accordingly. Unlike Neelisa Smith, who appeared more interested in passive-aggressive behavior than playing basketball, was noticed by fans and the organization. The Fever made the best decision they could have by severing ties with Smith. Melissa Smith is no longer with the Indiana Fever. Kelly Crosskoff entered the room and said, "Oh, you have to go." Melissa Smith wasn't just a bad fit on the court. She was a toxic presence off it. Her energy was like a storm cloud hovering over practice sessions, games, and even the locker room. Her presence was off, and no matter how much you tried to deny it, it was evident in every slack defensive attempt. Melissa Smith is perplexed as to why Indiana Fever fans don't want her on their team, and it's really not that difficult to understand, Melissa. Let me explain. We don't even need to consider any of your outbursts on social media, any of your subtweets, any of your drama-chasing antics off the court, or your passive-aggressive ways. You're deleting the Indiana Fever from your bio one day and adding them the next day, quoting tweets from other people, and all the needless drama and trash you bring to this team when it comes off the court. All we really need to do is sit back and watch you play. It's not that difficult to understand. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham has been nothing but encouraging. She's the kind of player who uplifts her teammates rather than bringing them down. Sophie has been vocal about how much she loves Clark's game, but Melissa couldn't even pretend to be interested. She wouldn't defend Clark, wouldn't act like a true teammate, and certainly didn't play like someone who wanted to win. This is fantastic for women's basketball, as well as for women's sports in general. There are a lot of new and fresh perspectives on our sport, and perhaps they're a little ignorant, so I understand that. But for that class to come in, you have her. The Indiana Fever are now moving forward with a roster that actually makes sense, a team built around chemistry, respect, and winning. And as for Melissa Smith and Dee Carrington, well, let's just say they have plenty of free time to think back on where it all went wrong. Melissa Smith was the issue, the energy was off, the chemistry was non-existent, and the vibe was pure negativity. But guess what? That's all in the past now that Sophie Cunningham has arrived, and she's exactly what this team needed. She's not just a tough, skilled player. She's a leader who encourages others, brings fire to the court, and respects the game, the fact that she publicly stated that she wanted to play with Caitlin Clark, and now that she's got it, it's like the basketball gods finally did something right. More breaking news, Sophie Cunningham was just signed by the Indiana NFL within 2 hours, and guess who was gone? NaLyssa Smith's departure. Yes, there were no tears shed, no farewell tributes, no emotional farewells, just a collective sigh of relief from Fever fans. Let's face it, Smith wasn't doing the team any favors. Her body language office and her inconsistent effort throughout this social media stunt were blatantly incongruous. She was obviously not interested in the team's success, as evidenced by some of her previous remarks about Kaylin. It's no wonder that the locker room felt like walking into an awkward family dinner. Sophie Cunningham is not going to put up with the hate and bullying Caitlin Clark has been receiving throughout the WNBA because, as we know, last year was a big target for Caitlin Clark. She was supposed to get in and force it. And as I keep telling you, Kelly's crystal ball is not playing tricks. The arrival of Sophie Cunningham, bro, isn't just a roster change. It's the beginning of a new era. She brings respect, hustle, and a winning mentality that Smith completely lacked. The Fever didn't just make a trade. They made a statement saying, we're done with drama, we're here to win. For Caitlin Clark, the fans, and the entire organization, this is a huge win. The team is finally building something special, and with Smith gone, the possibilities are endless. Cunningham and Clark are a duo you can rally behind. There won't be any more locker room tension or negative vibes. Just basketball played correctly. NaLyssa Smith is now playing on the same team as Dee Carrington for the first time since their Boer days. In fact, a few months ago, when someone asked her if she or Dee would play together, she said, "Oh, that's not going to happen because Connecticut aren't going to." So I'm not basically saying I'm not leaving Connecticut, and Indiana aren't going to trade you, Dee, out. Both of them were traded, and they were traded to the Dallas Wings. Speaking of Smith, let's not forget how quickly she updated her bio after the trade. She didn't even wait for the paperwork to dry before announcing her move to the Dallas Wings. And here's the plot twist. She's getting back together with her girlfriend, Dee Carrington, one of the league's most controversial players. You may recall Carrington's signature move from the previous season, which was to poke Caitlin Clark in the eye. Well, it seems that when you can't outplay someone, you turn to playground tactics. Now that Smith and Carrington are on the same team, the Dallas Wings may want to hire a full-time public relations team because the two aren't exactly known for keeping things drama-free. Smith was having trouble settling in Indiana, and Carrington has been garnering more attention for her antics than her performances. This isn't just a basketball move, it's a recipe for disaster. The two of them signed a walking, talking reality show. Good luck with that, Dallas. You're going to need it. Thank you. I don't think it affected me at all. I felt like I had good shots and they just didn't go down. The Indiana Wildcats are doing well this season. They've gone from being a playoff team to one with genuine championship potential. The fans are focused and will not be distracted, and Smith and Carrington are set to give the Dallas Wings nothing but headaches. Well, let's face it, Indiana fans are celebrating the fact that NaLyssa Smith is no longer with them. The dark cloud of negativity that hung over the team has disappeared because of her departure. In any case, NaLyssa Smith is joining her teammate and her girlfriend, Dee Carrington, who of course poked out the eyeball damn near of Caitlin Clark last year. The real architect behind this transformation, Kelly Crabb, Amber Cox, and Stephanie White have been cooking this offseason, making it all happen. The vibes are better, and the lock soccer room finally feels like a place where winning is the priority. Smith didn't just underperform on the court, she failed to show any loyalty to the fan base that once cheered her name. Remember when Carrington openly disrespected fans? The addition of veteran superstar Danana Boner, a game changer who brings elite scoring, lockdown defense, and championship pedigree, makes the Fever even more dangerous. Natasha Howard's return guarantees that Indiana's front court remains dominant, with a defensive anchor who understands what it takes to win. And let's not forget Sydney Coulson, who is pure vibes off the court and a great backup for Clark whenever she's on the bench. When breaking news breaks, we have to talk about it. So this is what we're doing here. Discussing the Indiana Fever making yet another move, Alicia, because they're currently acquiring all the Infinity Stones. With these additions, the Fever has transformed from a team led by players like Smith to a WNBA powerhouse. No more players will stand by and watch as the organization and its supporters are treated disrespectfully. Alexa Filippo, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, is the one who has been tweeting about all of this news. She said that six-time All-Star WNBA champion Joanna Boner is joining the Indiana Fever by resigning Kelsey Mitchell, trading for Sophie Cunningham, and bringing in seasoned veterans Boner and Natasha Howard. The title conversation, and I couldn't agree with her more. Indiana fans no longer have to watch a player coast through games with no passion. Instead, they have a roster full of winners who value the support, respect the game, and produce results. The future is bright and the championship window is wide open. It all began by cutting ties with the weak links. Meanwhile, Neelissa Smith in Dallas is already facing an uncertain future. She arrived thinking she would be a key piece, but with the Wings stacking their roster, her role is fading faster than her impact in Indiana, and honestly, the writing is on the wall. The first step was Smith's departure because she was never the best player Indiana needed. They needed no defensive grit or leadership, just flashes of potential that never translated into consistent success. Dallas will figure it out soon enough, though, because Indiana isn't built for a team chasing greatness, and they've already found a replacement in Alyssa Smith. In addition, they're paying Misha Hinn Allen close to a max. The Indiana Fever have completely changed their identity and are embracing a bold new identity. This isn't the same struggling team from years P, as they have signed new free agents while maintaining their core of Clark Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, and Lexi Hall. This team is built for championship contention. The addition of Danana Boner not only brings veteran experience, but also a winner's mentality that was sorely lacking. Add in Natasha Howard's return, and you have a defense that is tougher, grittier, and ready to dominate the paint. Every offseason move Indiana made wasn't just wise, it was strategically designed to turn the Fever into a powerhouse. Meanwhile, Neelissa Smith in Dallas is already having trouble finding her place with an influx of new talent, and she's rapidly fading into the